Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Really appreciate it, especially my new viewers and new subscribers. Your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel. It's really been amazing. I never take that for granted. Today, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to let my buddy John, he wants to interview me to give my viewers, because I got a lot of new viewers, a chance to get to know me. So he's got a few questions he wants to ask. I'm going to hand it over to John.
Well, thank you, Calvin. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And I would like to say that everybody that has left so many positive comments about Annie, I really appreciate that, and she does too. To start off with, Calvin, why don't you tell us about your life in the U.S. and how it changed when you came to the Philippines?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm the 8th of 9 kids, and I always tell people, we grew up poor according to the United States standards. And, it was always my dream, to have a good job, a nice car, a nice house and all that, to escape, the ghetto, which, really when I look back on, I didn't live in the ghetto. We lived, on the other side of the tracks, but it wasn't the ghetto. And so I worked hard for that, I became an insurance agent in 2003, and that just opened up a door for me that I never thought I'd ever walk through. We started living a good life for a few years, but then I believe I had what some people call midlife crisis, somewhere around 2009. First time I came here, I just woke up one day, I was like, man, is this all there is? I had the 3,700 square foot home, the new convertible. My wife had a daycare. We had 5 children. I was living a good life, but it just seemed like the world was closing in on me. I had more time behind me than I did ahead of me. I just started making impulsive decisions. My wife was too old for me, even though she was 7 years younger. Wow. And I was having all those, problems that somebody going through a midlife crisis had. So I said, I started traveling around. First I went to, Cancun. Then I went to Playa del Carmen. And by that time the marriage completely fell apart. We get a divorce. I get $20,000 out of divorce. I said I'm gonna take a trip around the world, and I started with the Philippines, and I haven't been anywhere since. Now, when I got over here, my life completely changed. I didn't know when I landed in 2009. Well, let me back up. When I came over here, I had no idea that I was going to stay here. I didn't even have no idea that I was going to like it. I knew nothing about the Philippines.
So, was your plan originally like to maybe spend a couple weeks here, then keep going?
That was it. I was going to Cebu, and then I was going to go to Perth, Australia. Then I was going to go to, I forgot the name of the place in New Zealand. Whatever the popular place is, like the capital or whatever it was in New Zealand. But when I got here, man, and I landed and we go into the hotel, man, something just grabbed hold of me, man. It was so quiet, it was so peaceful. It's like, man, in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to stay here. So my life has changed tremendously. I went from the fast lane to the slow lane.
To the slow lane.
From the rat race to, like I call the rice race over here, man.
I can understand that. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. The Philippines are great. I mean, I don't picture myself ever living anywhere else. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind in a few years, but I understand exactly what you're saying. When I first met you, Calvin, over a year ago, I met you at a laundromat.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself to you there, and you really struck me as being very shy. And then I met you again, I think, over at the laundromat. We talked a little bit, and then, maybe a year later, you started doing your channel. We got in touch, and we started meeting for coffee. And the first couple meetings, once again, you struck me as being very shy. Now we're, there's no problem there, but I want to know, how did you, when I see you on these the videos you do, you are so full of self-confidence, and you do not appear to be a shy man at all. How did you overcome that in your life? Because a lot of people can't.
Well, I didn't have no choice, John. It happened to me, and I am shy. I'm bashful. That's why I tell a lot of guys, if I can come over here and meet girls on the street, I'm the most shyest, most bashful person, but they're more shyer, they're more bashful than me, you know. But as an insurance agent, early in my career, because I used to look down when I'm talking to people. He said, no, you got to look people in the eye when you talk to them. That way they will trust you more, right? I had to push through that in order to succeed, in order to, you know, to pay the bills. It was either that or go back to selling clothes out of my trunk. So really, it's like I turn on a light, I push through, and I become somebody else. It's the same thing on my videos. You know, once that light comes on right there, I become somebody else because I don't have any problem. But here's another thing, John, that I did. And I learned this from my manager, Wayne Tipton. He told me to always say the same thing when I go into the house. That gives you confidence. When you know what you're going to say. It's the same thing on my videos. I know what I'm going to say.
Okay. You know what you're going to say, but you do all yours off the cuff. No rehearsing, no scripts, and I think that would be much harder than if you did have a script.
Well, you know, when I did my video talking about vlogging in the Philippines, you know, one thing that I tell the new vloggers is this. Talk about things that you absolutely know 100% about, that you're comfortable talking about. And see, I'm comfortable talking about, you know, real life in the Philippines, and basically just my real life in the Philippines. Not John's real life, my real life. See, and a lot of people misinterpret a lot of things I say. I'm talking about me on my videos. I'm not talking about everybody.
You're talking about your experiences only.
And if you can relate to it, okay, that's fine.
Well, and I will agree with that, because even though I agree with probably 99% of what you say, we have had different experiences, and I have a little bit of a small a difference of my experience than you have. So
yeah,
I
just tell them my experience, but that's how I was able to do that. You know, just see, what I do is before I go on, you know, it's not like this. This is really off the cuff, because I don't even know what you're going to ask me. But before I go on, I get my thoughts together and like the steps. You know, it's like telling a story. It's like if you ever taken an English course, you know, you got the introduction, then the body, then the summary. Basically, all I do, you know.
Well, like I say, your ratings, your subscribers has shown you are definitely very successful. What, in November you had 1,000 subscribers?
I had 1,000.
And now he's looking at 17,000. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there, and from what I've seen, I mean, yours has grown so much. What advice would you give to somebody that would like to start a YouTube channel and be successful?
First of all, you know, I just want to say thank you to my viewers and subscribers. Without them, John, I'm nothing. No YouTube channels there. Talk about something. See, the Philippines, man, if you go on YouTube, man, it's one of the most popular subjects that you could talk about. That has something to do with it. Timing has something to do with it, John. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People can't go anywhere. They want to come here. They can't. So what's the next best thing? Let's watch something on YouTube. So, but the number one advice I would give to a vlog is talk about the things you're comfortable talking about. Whether your viewers are going to be comfortable with it or not.
Okay, so on that same, I'll do a follow-up question there. If we have expats thinking about coming over here and starting YouTube channels, what do you think about the future of the YouTube channels? Like you say, right now they're doing great because of the pandemic. After the pandemic, you think it's going to start falling off?
No, it's actually going to go up because more people are going to be coming over here, going back, telling their war stories, so to speak. And people are going to want to know, is this really going on over in the Philippines? See, and that's why my channel, I think, has caught traction, because I'm telling these guys my boots on the ground experience. And I'm saying it in a way that they can relate to it, John. I'm not talking over their heads using fancy language. You know, I'm just telling them how it really is, you know. And I agree with that. I think that's one of the reasons why you've been successful, is because you do tell it like it is. I mean, you don't show the girls on bikini in Dumaguete, which I've been to the beach in Dumaguete, and you know how many girls I saw with bikinis? Zero. Yeah, it's very rare. You know, those are what they call over here liberated women. See, because most Philippines, you've seen it. You go to
I
any
know the
beach,
beaches.
they're
No
going to have a
bikinis.
bikini on.
They'll have long sleeve shirts and shorts.
And every now and then, depending on who's over there with them, they may take the shirt off and show their bra.
Have their bra. I have
But that's
seen
about
that.
it. You're not going to see oh my God, some of the stuff you see in Boracay, man. You'll see it because those are liberated women.
See, I've only been to 5 provinces. Boracay was not one of them, but I have never seen a bikini on the beach here.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing, this is something I thought might be important. You have your YouTube, and I know you spend a lot of time on that. And that is probably a big part of your life, even though I'm sure it's a labor of love, and Calvin says, it seems like I spend no time on it, but he does spend a lot of time on it. People coming over here, expats, like me, I worked 2 and 3 jobs for 40 years. So finally I'm able to retire, come over here. I'm actually bored quite often. I mean, I drink, yes. When I worked 3 jobs ago, I drink? No. But now I can. I mean, I spend a lot of time on a computer. What do you think for expats that come over like I did with nothing else to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean,
another good question, John, but it's almost like a lifestyle question. Whatever you're doing in America or Britain or France, transfer it over to the Philippines. If you like to work out, if you like gardening, golfing, riding your bike, do that over here. But if you're in America or wherever and you're not doing anything, don't think that you're going to have some type of epiphany when you get over here and decide, oh, I'm going to get busy. If you're bored over there, you're going to be bored as hell over here.
I would say yes.
You better find to do something. That's one of the reasons why men don't make it over here, men and women. Boredom is the number one reason. It's not that they run out of money. People that come over here have plenty of money. Boredom is number one.
Well, we have 2 or 3 dozen expats here in San Carlos. When I meet them, they're all drunk. So that may be some of the reason why they do that. Now, you mentioned golfing. I know golfing is very popular. I could never afford to golf in the U.S. I have not seen a golf course here. I don't think we have any in San Carlos. I'm sure probably Cebu does. I'm sure there's some around Manila, but
I think as you go out toward, as a matter of fact, if you go up in the Don Salvador Mountains, next time you go to Bacolod,
they got one.
You'll see they've got some ranges up there that you can hit. But it's very popular here in the Philippines. Golfing is very, very popular in the Philippines. Tennis. You know, a lot of the outdoor sports are very popular, but even just like me and you meet every Friday.
Yes.
See, that's something you can do. It's no different than in America, in the McDonald's in my hometown. Every single morning from about the time they open up about 6 to about 8, the retired guys are in there shooting the breeze, drinking coffee, and a whole bunch of
retired guys
every single day. So just do that. If 4 or 5 expats came over here, I'd love for them to join us on Friday.
I would love that.
That would be nice. See, something like that.
Now, when Calvin and I first started meeting, I mean, believe it or not, I'm a loner. And I think Calvin is to a very certain extent too. We would meet, and I enjoyed talking with the guy, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. And Calvin would say to me, "Hey, John, thanks. I appreciated talking to you." He said that a few times. I mean, I enjoyed it. But now, I got really down after 2 years, and last Friday when we met, after meeting with Calvin, I came out of there with a completely different attitude, and I felt so much better. I came on my email, man, thanks a lot. So I would recommend, if you do come over, at least find one expat from your country just to meet once in a while. It really does help.
It really
does.
That Tagalog in your ear, that Visaya in your ear all the time will drive you crazy. Even if you know the language, you want to talk to somebody that, see, John understands me 100%. He doesn't misinterpret me at all. And we go back and forth. We get out in that 1 hour, 1 hour and a half that we meet every Friday. That whole week that we've got pent in us,
It helps.
And if you if you miss that week, just like John said, you're gonna feel that, But yeah, that's something that you do. But if you're bored in America, you're gonna be bored over here. Yeah, remember we talked about the honeymoon period. There's a honeymoon period over here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, there is.
3 to 6 months, but after that, it gets dead. It gets quiet.
Well, and especially, I mean, San Carlos is an excellent city to go and retire. I describe it as a sleepy, dusty town. But young guys, you come here, there is no nightlife. At 9 o'clock, everything's closed up. I mean, I love it. I know Calvin loves it. Yeah. It is very clean here, but I mean, it depends on what you're after. So if you're after nightlife, this is not a place for you, I would say.
Yeah. And then, see, you said a couple of things there, John. You said you alone, I'm alone. What you'll find out is expats, we have a lot in common. A lot of times, we're the black sheep of the family, so to speak.
I know I am.
A lot of expats, we're the only ones with a passport in our family. But talking to expats, and like you said, coming to San Carlos, it's a small place, but it's close enough. If you get the itch, Dumagetti's 4 hours away, Bacala's 2.5 hours away, Cebu City's, you can do that. But if you were young, I would say stay in that expat alley, Metro Manila, Angeles City, Cebu City, Davao, Dumagetti, Bacala, Ilo. Otherwise, man, you're gonna go crazy.
I only got a couple more questions.
Okay.
One was, what was your best experience in your experience while you've been off and on for 12 years in the Philippines?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the people here, specifically the women that I've dealt with, man.
I've
never had women treat me the way that these women have treated me.
I'll cut in there. Neither have I. really. I'm not. That's my reason I'm here.
I'm just telling you that he asked me the best experience. That's what it was. And the worst experience. I told John, we talked about this before. The people just treat you so well. They leave you alone, guys. I'm telling you, you're safe here. Nobody's going to bother you. I haven't had any bad experiences except the brownouts. And they're starting to get more and more frequent here. You will not get used to them. You get you a generator that maybe runs your fan, maybe runs the television. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy, and you never get used to them. And that's about as close to a bad experience as I've ever had in 12 years. It's just, this place is just safe and secure over here, as a matter of fact. I'm going to use that word.
Well, I live in a squatter area, and I have no problems with the neighbors. I would have no problem going out drunk 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be okay. But I do have to agree with you. I've always said, if people ask me, what I don't like here is the heat and the food. I'm getting used to the heat. The food I'm still not used to, but I got to say, brownouts are getting to be up to number 3. I mean, sometimes we have them for 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours. Yeah. It's not every day, but it's quite often.
And then, one thing you said about the food, like today when we ate.
Oh, no.
That's good food. And
tell them that restaurant.
The reason why I'm saying that, John, is because after a while, you're going to find your favorite barber. You're going to find your favorite laundry, your favorite restaurant. And you got to keep track of this stuff. If you don't write it down, put it in your head, because in the beginning it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hit and miss, guys. But don't let that deter you. You're going to have to give yourself, if you're really talking about coming over here and trying to make it over, give yourself at least a year.
Oh, yes.
It's going to take at least a year, because the first 6 months is going to seem like you're in la-la land.
And I agree with that. As far as the heat, it's taken me 2 years, but I'm actually starting to get used to the heat.
You don't have air in here.
No air. I got a fan.
But that's about it. That's all I had until my daughter was born. We had to get one for her. Other than that, John, you're right. A guy asked me that on the live stream today.
And that's something else. I mean, you've been to Don Salvador. I've just visited there shortly. It's like 10 degrees cooler there year round.
Absolutely. More, especially at night.
And I need to. My wife's from the fishing village right on the sea, so she likes the sea. Yeah. And I think I will probably talk her into moving to the mountains. I think I'd be a little more comfortable there.
We were at the La Vista Highland Resort.
That thing looks gorgeous. I've seen it. It looks gorgeous.
Now imagine, this is a modern resort. No air conditioning.
But you don't need it.
You don't need it.
So
you don't need it. But thanks, John. I appreciate it, man. It was fun. Just something different. Give my viewers a chance to, to get to know me. But yeah, if you think about coming over to the Philippines, give yourself at least a year, guys. don't come over here and then run back. You know, because it's going to take some time to get acclimated, to get really dialed in, to find your sweet spot.
And I agree with that.
You know, and then once you do, but I'm gonna tell you, it starts and ends a lot of times with the right woman. If you got the right woman, it makes it a lot easier.
The right women are here. You might have to look a little bit. You can get the cream of the cream here. Just be patient. Don't jump into anything and meet their families. Get to know them. Stay off the line.
I get it. If you're only going to be here 2 weeks, you don't have time to be running around. You know.
But you don't want to. But if you're coming here for just 2 weeks, you don't want a wife.
Yeah, you don't want a wife.
And there's plenty of women that will accommodate you.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, but if you're going to come over here as an expat, man, take your time, man, because just y'all saw y'all saw Vanessa, you saw Annie. See, those are the women that are over, and it's a lot of them over here. They do not have many choices.
No, like that small fishing village, there's about 300 people that live in it. 80% of them are related, so that cuts your chances down to finding a mate to very few.
Then we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, well,
the borders are shut.
Yes.
So nobody can court them there. They're regular women. They just want a good man that's going to be with them and take care of them, love them, accept them for who they are.
And they don't want a bunch of things. All they want to do is take care of their husbands, have children, take care of their children, interact with their family, and that's all they want. A decent place to live, food to eat, that's all they want.
We're the ones who make their lives complicated.
Actually, we do.
We make their lives complicated, John. Yes, I don't care what nobody says. They get on me when I say, oh, don't take your Filipino wife home. You're going to complicate her life when you do that. It's levels to this stuff, guys. You know, just like the little girl, she's never been to anywhere in the Philippines. Little Annie. See, you can take her around the Philippines and show her a new way to live. You don't have to take her way over in Britain. But if that's your only choice, you can't retire here. Then you don't have a choice, but
and I think
don't use that as an excuse.
In the exception of Annie, I think you could take her to the U.S. and you'd have a great wife there too.
She's exceptional.
I agree.
You know, I've done 4 interviews and she's by far the best one. And you were worried about her, but nothing to worry about.
Yes.
But thank you so much for stopping by today. In America, it's getting late. Well, it's early actually.
Yeah.
When you get up in the morning to get that cup of coffee, to
3:40.
Yeah, to get that cup of coffee, to get your newspaper, you going to work and you see somebody in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a couple of dollars. You're in the Philippines. What time is it, John?
It is 4 o'clock here in the p.m.
We still got about 2 hours before it gets pitch black.
That's right.
So you still have time to intentionally go out and find somebody to help. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time.
I would like to give a shout out to my daughter, Stephanie Wales. I love you. I'm proud of you. Hang in there. You can do it.
Rest in peace, DMX.